See, in the previous class, we were seeing how we can represent the linear function graphically. The graph of a linear function was a straight line. Of course, we do have some questions pending from the previous class. So please take your problem sheet number 22. Please take problem sheet number 22. Please take problem sheet number 22. We have a few questions pending. We have worked out till question number 5. Next, we have to do question number 6. We have to do question number 6. See, these are typical questions that will be asked in an SAT, okay? Question number 6. The linear function g such that g of 0 is equal to 9, g of 3 is equal to minus 6 is given by. So let's see how this can be done. So what is the information that is given in the question? When the input is 0, the output is 9. When the input is 3, the output is minus 6. So that's a simple idea. Or if you can think in terms of a table, you can think in terms of table input-output relationship. For 0, the output is 9. For 3, it's minus 6. That is one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is using a table. If I have x and y values, your y values are represented as f of x. Okay, corresponding to 0, it is 9. For 3, it is minus 6. All right. For 3, it is minus 6. All right. Another way to look at it is using ordered pairs. So 0, 9, 3, minus 6 are two ordered pairs that will lie on the graph of the function. Now the question is to get the functional form, the function form of the function that is represented by these ordered pairs or these pair of inputs and outputs. Okay. So what is the idea here? What is the idea here? I've already told you. If I have 0 input, and by the way, when you look at the options, it is clear that it is a linear function. When you look at the options, it's understood that it's a linear functions. Okay. Currently, we are discussing about linear functions, so you don't have any confusion. During an exam, how will you figure it out? During an exam, how will you figure it out that it is a linear function? Just look at the options. If the option talks about only about linear functions, then we are happy. Or it will be explicitly given in the question. Or it will be explicitly given in the question that it is a linear function, right? Or if there is a graph given, if it's a straight line, then it is understood that it is a linear function. So there are multiple ways to understand it is a linear function. Now, if you know that it is a linear function, g, it's not f, it's g. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not f, it's g. In this case, it's represented by g. Now, if you know that this is a linear function, you can always represent it as mx plus c. Mx plus c. Now, we have already talked about the significance of m and c. What is the significance of c? The significance of c is simply the output when your input is 0. The output when input is 0. Okay. C is nothing but the output corresponding to 0 input. Output corresponding to 0 input. Yeah. What is the significance of m? M corresponds to the slope, which is change in y over change in x. 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 All right. Yeah. Prisha, I think Anjali has not joined. Could you please text her or something? We were supposed to start at start 5 minutes. Ah, yeah, she's here. Yeah. Actually, we were supposed to start 5 minutes early today because we missed a few minutes previously. So I just wanted to compensate for that. So we are on problem sheet number 22, where we have some pending questions. This is not the assignment for the current week. This is the assignment for the previous week. Okay, an earlier week. We have some pending questions in this. We have some pending questions here. We are talking about question number 6. Please take question number 6. So in this question, it is given that it is a linear functions. Or if you look at the options, it's understood that it is a linear function. Now, there are 2 inputs and corresponding outputs given. So there are multiple ways to understand this. Corresponding to 0 input, the output is 9. Corresponding to 3, the input 3, the output is -6. That is one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is using an input-output table. Another way to look at it is the ordered pairs that will lie on the graph of the function. Okay. All right. But what is asked in the question is the functional form. Okay. The expression for g of x. Since it's a linear function, we can represent g of x as mx plus c. Why is that possible? Because it's understood or it's given in the question that it is a linear function. So every linear function will be represented as mx plus c. G of x is equal to mx plus c in this case. Now, what is the significance of c? The significance of c is the output when the input is 0. What is the significance of m? The significance of m is delta y over delta x. Okay. So we have these numbers and we can quickly figure out what your g of x is. So c is the output when input is 0. So it is directly given in the question. This is 9. This is 9. Okay. And what about m? M is change in output divided by change in input. Change in output is -6 minus 9. You take the corresponding change here. 3 minus 0. Corresponding change. If you take the difference between the second and the first in first for y, then for x also you have to take difference between the second and the first. Okay. Whatever order you choose in the numerator, you have to follow that order in the denominator as well. Okay. In the numerator, we are this, if this is y1, this is y2. The denominator we are doing y2 minus y1. So in the numerator, so in the denominator we have to do x2 minus x1. Okay. So this will come out as minus 15 over 3, which is minus 5. Minus 5 is the m value. So we have our answer. M value is known. C value is known. So g of x will be mx plus c. That is minus 5x plus 9. G of x is equal to minus 5x plus 9. Now, if you want to verify your answer, your g of x is equal to minus 5x plus 9 is the answer. So this is our answer. Now, if you want to verify the answer, how do we do that? You just put x is equal to 0. You put x is equal to 0, g of 0 will come out as 9. So this statement is true. Now g of 3 will come out to be minus 5 into 3 plus 9, which is minus 15 plus 9, which is minus 6. So that is our answer. Okay. All right. Is that okay? Please tell me. Please tell me. See, these are all typical questions that will be asked in an SAT. Okay. Next question. Which equation does not represent a direct variation? Oh, what is a direct variation? There's a direct proportionality. Okay, direct variation means it will be of the form y is equal to kx. Okay, your output will be just a multiple of input, a constant multiple of input. This is a special case of a linear function. This is a special case of a linear function. Okay, your output will be some k times x. Your output will be some k times x. This is a special case of a linear function. Now, this is a direct variation. Y is equal to some 1 by 3 times x. This is y is equal to minus 2 times x. K can be negative, no problem. This is y is equal to 6 times x. That is also okay. This is not a direct variation. Even though it is a linear function, it's not a direct variation. So we need to know which one does not. So this is our answer. Everything else represents a direct variation. A direct variation is a function which is of the form y is equal to kx. Yeah. All right. Now, next question. Listen carefully. 2 meters of cloth cost $13. 5 meters of the same cloth cost $32.5. So, of course, this is a typical case of direct variation. Okay. If 2 meters of cloth cost $13, okay, 1 meter will cost 13 by 2. Okay. And 4 meters will cost how much? $26. 2 meters will cost $13. 4 meters will cost what? $26. Right? So the logic here is, in this case, there is a direct variation. There is a direct variation in this case. That is what you need to figure out. And it's also understood from the options. If you look at the options, every option talks about a direct variation. There is no constant being added. Okay. So which equation relate the cost to the length of the length? Cost to the length. Okay. See, this is a very typical case of direct variation. Okay. Direct variation is when, say, for example, cost of one chocolate is $2. Okay. Then cost of 2 chocolates is $4. 3 chocolates is $6. 5 chocolates is $10. 10 chocolates is $20. N number of chocolates is 2 times n. Okay. So cost of n chocolates is equal to 2n. This is a direct variation. If one chocolate costs 2, okay, the cost of n chocolates will be 2 times n. Okay. So in this case, the cost is proportional to the length. So your cost is some k times L. Okay. And this is what we call the constant of proportionality. The constant of proportionality will represent the cost of unit length, will represent the cost for 1 meter. 1 meter. This will represent the cost for 1 meter. Right? Because, when you substitute L is equal to 1, your cost becomes K. When you put L is equal to 1, your cost becomes K. Now, it's very easy. You figure out what is the cost of 1 meter. For 2 meters, it's $13. So for 1 meter, it is $6.5. For 1 meter is $6.5. So your C is equal to 6.5 times L. C is equal to 6.5 times L. C is equal to 6.5 times L. We can also verify this. Verify this. When your L is 2, what is the C value? It's 13, because 2 times 6.5 is 13. And similarly, when your L is 5, your cost comes out to be 6.5 times 5. 6.5 times 5 is going to be, you have to do the math. It is going to be 30 plus 2.5, 32.5. Yes, that is also correct. That is also correct. Okay. Is that clear? Is that okay? Your cost is 6.5 times L. Your cost is 6.5 times L. Yeah. Next question. We have two more questions in this. The cost of building in dollars is estimated as C of x is equal to 80x plus 10,000, where x is the floor area in square feet of the building. The cost to build a certain home came out to be, it's actually 106,000. Okay, 106K. What is the floor area in square feet of the home? Okay, so the relationship between cost and floor area is given as a linear relationship. We don't have to worry how it came. We don't have to worry how it came. It's given the question. It's given that your cost is not directly proportional to floor area. It is a linear function of floor area. But it's not directly proportional. Okay, because there's a fixed cost and then there is a multiple of the floor area. Okay, some 10K is being added to a multiple of the floor area. So we don't have to worry how it came. Don't bother about it. The only idea that is asked in the question is, if the cost to build a certain home came out to be 106K. So the C of x for certain value of x is given to be this. And then what is the floor area? What is the corresponding x value? That is the question. If C of x is given, what is x value? C of x is given, what is the x value? So it's very simple. C of x is given as 106K equal to 80 times x plus 10K. 106K is equal to 80x plus 10K. Now, how can you figure out the value of x? You take 10K to the other side. So we have 106K minus 10K is equal to 80x. So 106K minus 10K is going to be 96K. So 96K is equal to 80x. Your x value comes out to be 96K over 80. Okay. This 0 and 1 0 and 1 0 can be cancelled. Your 8 can get cancelled here. This is going to be 12 times. So this becomes 1200. 1200 is your answer. 1200 is the answer. Is that okay? It's a very simple question. You don't have to worry by just looking at the statement of the question. That should not intimidate you. Okay. These are typical SAT problems. Okay. There will be a very big statement given, but the underlying math concept will be very easy. Underlying math concept will be very easy. Here in this case, there is a relationship between C and X is given. There is a C value given. You have to find the X value. That's very, very simple, straightforward question. Is that okay? I mean, the math part is there that you have to do. The numerical part is there. That needs to be done. But otherwise, it's okay, right? Tell me. Are you with me? If there is a confusion, let me know, okay? If there is any confusion, do let me know. Yeah. So let's go to the next question. Yeah, again, do not get intimidated by the statement of the question. Okay. Anthropologists have, I think it has to be a plural, have modeled the relationship between the height h in centimeter of a human being and the length f of the femur bone, that is a thigh bone, in centimeter as h is equal to 2.72 f plus 42.12. Okay, so there is a relationship between height of the human and the length of the femur. Okay, femur is the thigh bone. So we don't have to worry about how people came up with this relationship. That's insignificant. Okay, that should not distract you during the exam or when you're solving this question. This thought should not distract you. This is usually modeled using statistics. You take a lot of data and then you derive or come up with such expressions. Okay, that is none of our concern for the time being. Okay, so there is a relationship between h and f. H is a linear function of f. H is a height of the human is a linear function of the length of the femur. Is that all right? Now, for two different people, the measure of the femur bone were found to be 22 and 23. What is the difference in their heights? That's a very interesting question. For two values of f are given. We have to find the difference in h. Okay. Now see, your h is given to be 2.72 f plus 42.12. Now there is a relationship between linear relationship between h and f, and this is what we call the slope. If we plot f versus h, if I plot f here, h here, this will be a straight line. And what will 2.72 represent? What will 2.72 represent? It will represent slope of the graph, right? It will represent slope of the function. Okay, that will represent slope of the function. Now, what is the significance of the slope? It is nothing but change in y over change in x. Change in y over change in x. So your 2.72 is nothing but delta h over delta f. Change in h over change in f. Please understand this clearly. Okay. 2.72 corresponds to the slope of the function, and that's nothing but change in h, change in y value. This is your y value, or this is what we call the dependent variable, and this is what we call the independent variable. I'm sorry, this is the independent variable. Okay, and your slope is nothing but I'm sorry, the ratio of change in dependent variable to the ratio of change in independent variable. Now, the ratio of change in independent variable is given to be 23 minus 22. That is given to be 1. What they have asked is delta h. See why? Why is it delta h? Because it clearly says what is the difference in their heights. Difference in their height. So we need to find delta h here. Just plug in the values here. Just plug in the values here. That's all. Delta f came out to be 1. So what will be delta h? What will be the value of delta h? What will be the value of delta h from this expression? Delta f, denominator is 1. What will be the numerator? What is the answer? Please tell me. Yeah, what will be the answer here? See, delta h is the unknown quantity. Delta f is given to be 1. And this ratio is slope that is taken from the equation itself. Now tell me what is your delta h. It will be nothing but, hey, we have something by 1 is equal to 2.72. So what is that something? Yeah, 2.72. That's all. We have something over 1 is 2.72. What is that something? Something is nothing but 2.72. Yes. Yes. Please tell me. Yeah. So we are moving on to the next problem sheet that was given for the current week. This was our problem sheet number 22. So let's see 23 now. Let's see 23 now. I hope you people went through this problem sheet. There is also a summary of the concepts we have discussed in the previous class. Okay. Okay. That's question number 1. The graph of which of the following function has the greatest slope? Now tell me what will be the slope in each of the cases. What will be the slope value in each of the cases? In the first case, it is going to be this number, which is 3. Here it is -8. Here it is 1. Here it is 5. So which option satisfies the condition given in the question? Greatest slope. Is it -8? Is it -8? No, -8 is a negative number. There are positive quantities there. There is 1, there is 3, there is 5. Greatest slope goes to this function, right? Am I right? Tell me, please. Yeah. Second question. Which graph shows a line where each y value is 3 more than half of x? Each y value is 3 more than half of x. Can you tell me what will that function be? The relationship between y and x, each y values 3 more than half of x. What will be that function? Can you tell me? Can you tell me what that function will be? The relationship between y and x. The relationship between y and x. Y value is 3 plus half x. Okay. So what is that function? Y is equal to, it is going to be y is equal to half x plus 3, right? It is going to be y is equal to half x plus 3 or 3 plus half x. Half x plus 3. Now, how do we get the graph of y is equal to half x plus 3? How do you get the graph of y is equal to half x plus 3? You can first look at the y-intercept. Okay, you can just look at the y-intercept first. We can look at the y-intercept. Y-intercept is nothing but this value. This is the y-intercept. Y-intercept. Intercept on the y-axis. Intercept on the y-axis given to be 3. Intercept on the y-axis given to be 3. Okay, now let's look at the options. See, in this option, the intercept on y-axis is 3. Here also intercept on y-axis is 3. Here intercept on y-axis is 3. Here the intercept on y-axis is -3. Okay. So just by looking at the intercept of the options, we cannot get the answer. Just by looking at the intercepts, we cannot get the answer. We have to look at the slope. Slope is what? Slope is rise over run when you go from point A to point B. Point A and point B can be any 2 points. Slope is nothing but rise over run when you go from point A to point B. Okay, when you go from point A to point B, it can be any 2 points. So if I take point A, the first option, if I take this as point A, if I take this point B, what is rise? What is the rise when you go from point A to point B? What is the rise when you go from point A to point B? No, when you're going from point A to point B, what is the change in the y coordinate? What is the change in the vertical change? What is the vertical change? Vertical change. When you're going from point A to point B, what is the vertical change? The y value of A was 0, y value of B is 3. So when you go from A to B, the change in y value is 3. Is that clear? Is that clear? When you're going from A to B, the point A is on x-axis, it's minus 6, 0. B is 0, 3. When you're going from A to B, what is the change in vertical? What is the vertical change? Or what is the rise? It's 3. Am I right? It's 3. Am I right? Please tell me. Please tell me when you're going from point A to point B, what is the vertical change or what is the rise? Yeah, it's 3. That's cool. Because initially the y coordinate was 0 and finally the y coordinate becomes 3. So you're going from 0 to 3. We are talking about this length, okay? We are talking about this length. This is your rise. Okay. What is the run? When you're going from A to B, what is the horizontal change? What is the horizontal change? What is the horizontal change when you're going from A to B? It's 6. Yeah. This is that value. This is run. This is going to be 3 minus 0, which was 3. And this was nothing but 0 minus 6, which is 6. 6. So slope in this case will be 3 over 6, which is 1 by 2. So in this case, slope is half and y-intercept is 3. This exactly matches with the condition given in the question. So this is the right answer. This is the right answer. Y-intercept is 3 in this case and slope is given to be rise over 1, which came out to be half. Slope came out to be half. Slope came out to be half. Now, can we also check the slope for other parts, other options? Can you tell me what is the slope in this case? Can you tell me the slope in this case? Say, suppose this is 1.5 minus 1.5. Suppose this is minus 1.5. Or rather, you can take these 2 points. It's easier if you take these 2 points. Take this as point A. This is point B. What is the slope of this line? Please calculate. Please calculate. These are common questions in an SAT, okay? Calculating the slope of a graph when the graph is given. Take any 2 points. Yeah, The rise is going to be this quantity. This is rise. Okay, because we are traveling from -1, 1 to 0, 3. Rise is going to be 3 minus 1, which is 2. What is run? Run is going to be difference in x coordinates. Difference in x coordinates, just 1 unit, right? Just 1 unit. See the number of tiles. You can see the number of tiles. Just 1 unit, right? In horizontal direction, just 1 unit. It's 0 minus 1, which is 1. So what is the slope here? Slope is 2 over 1, which is 2. Slope here it is 2. Slope here is 2. Slope here is 2. Slope here is 2. But we need half as the slope. So, of course, A was the right answer. But we are checking other options as well. Okay, in this case, tell me what will be the slope. Can you tell me what will be the slope? In this question, can you tell me what will be the slope? Please calculate the slope of the line in this graph. Can you take some time and calculate the slope of this graph? Hello? Hello? Uh-huh. What about Olivia? Is the slope 2 here? Is the slope 2 here? Yeah, it's -2. Okay, please listen carefully. Please listen carefully. Take any 2 points. So if I take this as point A, this is point B. And the coordinates here are 0, 3. The coordinates here are 2, 2. Okay. When you're going from A to B, say you're traveling from A to B, you can take the other way around also. The answer will not change. Okay. When you're traveling from A to B, rise is this. This is the rise. Of course, when you're traveling from A to B, the y coordinate decreases, right? The y coordinate decreases. The vertical change is negative. Here the vertical change is negative. Okay. The vertical change is negative. You can also see this from the change in y coordinates. The final y coordinate is 2. The initial y coordinate is 3. So this is -1. Rise is -1. Okay. Remember, always take care of your sign. Okay. Is that clear? You're going from A to B. Your vertical change is negative because the value is decreasing. When going from A to B, your vertical change is negative because you are going from a point where the y coordinate is bigger to a point where the y coordinate is smaller, right? Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? Yeah. And what about run? Run is going to be the horizontal change. When you're going from A to B, the horizontal change is actually 2 units. Why? Because the final x value is 2, initial x value is 0. This is 2 units. Or you can just count the tiles. It's just 2. Now the slope will be minus rise over run, delta y by delta x. So this is minus 1 over 2. Again, you have also made a mistake. It's minus 1 over 2. Okay. Even I said you're right, but it's not right. It's minus half. It's minus half. Why? Because change in y is minus 1, change in x is 2. Okay, Olivia, the answer is minus 1 by 2. Okay, you have taken the sign correctly, but you messed up the numerator and denominator. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yeah. Now I'll give you a shortcut to figure out if the slope will be a negative quantity. Okay. I'll give you a shortcut to check whether the slope will be negative or positive. Okay. The idea is very simple. You already know that if the line is rising, then its slope will be positive. If the line is falling, the slope will be negative. But if it's difficult for you, what you have to do is just look at the angle the straight line is making with x-axis, positive direction of x-axis. Look at the angle the straight line is making with the positive direction of x-axis. So in this case, when you look at the angle that it makes with the positive direction of x-axis, it's making an acute angle. What is an acute angle? An angle less than 90 degrees. It's easy to figure out, right? It's easy to look whether the angle is acute or obtuse. If the angle is acute, the slope will be positive. What is the idea? Just look at the angle made by the straight line with the positive direction of x-axis. So this is a positive direction of x-axis. So the angle it makes with the positive direction of x-axis is acute. Then the slope will be positive. And if this angle made by the line with the positive direction of x-axis is acute, obtuse. It's not negative. It is obtuse. If the angle is obtuse, the slope will be negative. So in this case, see this. Of course, the part of the graph is missing here. So if I just extend it here, I extend the straight line. Look at the angle made by the line with the positive direction of x-axis. Is that an acute angle? Is that an acute angle? No, it's an obtuse angle, right? So if it's obtuse, the slope will be negative. If it is obtuse, the slope will be negative. Okay, now what is the summary of what we have learned so far? I think I'll do one more question here. Let's figure out the slope of this straight line as well. Then I'll just summarize what we have done. Calculate the slope of this line. Please calculate the slope here. Take any 2 points. Take any 2 points. Take this as A. Take this as B. Take any 2 points. Yes. What about others? Yeah, very good. Very good. Robin and Prisha, tell me. Yeah, okay. Let's take this point. This point is minus 6 comma 0. This point is 0 comma minus 3. 0 comma minus 3. Now you travel from A to B. You travel from A to B. When you're traveling from A to B, your vertical change. Vertical change is you're going from 0 to minus 3. Your vertical change is negative because you're going from a point where your y coordinate was 0 to a point where your y coordinate is minus 3. The y coordinate is decreasing. The y coordinate is decreasing. So this y coordinate is decreasing. It's decreasing. It's going from a point where it was 0 to a point where it is minus 3. Okay. So this is your, sorry, rise. It's minus 3, minus 0. It's minus 3. And what about run? When you're going from A to B, what is the horizontal change? Horizontal change, you are traveling from a point where the x coordinate is minus 6 to a point where your x coordinate is 0. Your horizontal change is positive. Your horizontal change is positive because you're going from minus 6 to 0. It is increasing, right? It is increasing. The change is positive. So run is equal to 0 minus minus 6, which is 6. Now your slope is rise over run, which is minus 3 over 6, which is minus 1 by 2. Minus 1 by 2. Now what is the summary? Summary is very simple. You take any 2 points. You can take any 2 points, the answer will not change. You take any 2 points, A and B, as per your convenience. You travel from A to B or B to A, as per your convenience. The answer will not change. When you're traveling from A to B, calculate the rise. Okay, the change in y coordinates. Okay, with sign. Okay, if the y coordinate is decreasing, it has to be taken as negative. Okay, similarly, if it is increasing, it has to be taken as positive. And similarly, you calculate the run, the horizontal change or the change in x coordinate. Okay, you divide these two quantities to get the slope. A very simple idea, and you can verify that when the slope is negative, you can just look at here. When the slope is negative, what is really happening to the angle? This is the positive direction of x-axis. The angle it makes with the positive direction of x-axis is an obtuse angle, right? See the figure? It's an obtuse angle. Of course, this is related to some trigonometry. I am not very sure whether you have learned it or not. Actually, slope has one more definition. It is the tangent of this angle. Have you learned about tangent function, trigonometric functions? Have you learned about trigonometric functions, tangent function, trigonometric ratios, or rather? Have you heard of tan theta? Yeah. What about others, 10th graders? Tan theta? Yeah, okay. So actually slope has one more definition. It is tangent of this angle theta. If theta is an acute angle, tangent of theta will give you a positive number. When theta is obtuse, tan theta will give a negative number. Okay, that is the idea. Cool. So our answer was A because 3 represented the y-intercept, the intercept on the y-axis with sign, okay, with the sign. The intercept has to be taken with the sign. Here the y-intercept, the intercept on y-axis, okay, was positive. Okay, and we just learned how to calculate the slope. Yes, let's go to the next question. Which is the equation of the line shown? Which is the equation of the line shown? So there are 4 options: y is equal to 2x, y is equal to half x, y is equal to minus 2x, y is equal to minus half x. Now, when you look at the graph, what is so remarkable about this graph? What is so remarkable about the graph? What is so remarkable about this graph? It passes through. It passes through. It passes through. What is so remarkable about this graph? It passes through the origin. Yeah, origin. So if your line passes through origin, okay, the C value will be 0. Okay, the constant will be 0. The y-intercept is 0. Okay, your line will be of the form y is equal to mx. Do not forget. Do not forget. Do not forget. Okay. What is the physical meaning? Physical meaning is y is equal to mx represents a direct variation. You know that represents a direct variation. So you get 1 chocolate for $2, 2 chocolates for $4, 3 chocolates for $6, and for 0 chocolates, what is the amount you have to pay? It's $0, right? So when the input is 0, the output is also 0. It passes through origin. So this corresponds to a direct variation. In a direct variation, when you give 0 input, the output is 0. In a direct variation, when the input is 0, the output is 0. If you're not choosing not to buy chocolates, you don't have to pay. As simple as that. So this is of the form y is equal to mx, c value 0. Now tell me what will be the slope. From this, can you tell me what the slope is? Please tell me what the slope is. Can you tell me what the slope is in this case? What about others? Yeah. Now it's easy, right? You take 2 points. You take 2 points, A and B. Say A can be taken as minus 2 comma 0. This B can be taken as 0 comma 0. When you're traveling from A to B, what really happens is, when you're traveling from A to B, the vertical change is, see, the y value is reducing. The y value is reducing. No, it's not minus 2 comma 2, it is minus 2 comma 3. I'm sorry. This value is 4, right? It's minus 2 comma 4. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. It is minus 2 comma 4, okay? It is minus 2 comma 4. When you're traveling from A to B, your vertical change is negative 4. Why? Because you're going from 4 to 0. The value is decreasing. Delta y is 0 minus 4, which is negative 4. And when you're going from A to B, the horizontal changes, it goes from minus 2 to 0. It increases. So delta x is 0 minus minus 2, which is 2. Now your slope is minus 4 over 2, which is minus 2. y is equal to minus 2x will be the answer. Y is equal to minus 2x will be the answer. Y is equal to minus 2x will be the answer. Got it? Yeah. Next question. Which graph shows a linear function? There are a variety of graphs given. We have to see which one shows a linear function. Of course, the one with a straight line, right? The straight line. The straight line. Next question. Which equation represents the linear function with slope 3 by 4? Okay. So, which one represents a linear function with slope 3 by 4? Let's check slope in each case. This is y is equal to kx form. So, the slope is 4 by 3 here. Here, the slope is 3 by 4. Here, the slope is 1. Look at the coefficient of x. It is 1. Here, the slope is minus 3 by 4. So, slope 3 by 4 corresponds to this option. Okay, is that okay? Yes, a simple question, right? Next question. What is the slope of the line shown? What is the slope of the line shown? Can you please tell me what will be the slope of this line? What will be the slope of the line? Now, if you make a small mistake, your answer will go wrong because you have all the combinations with negatives and positives 3 and 4. All the 4 possible combinations are given in the option. So if you make a small mistake, your answer will be wrong. Can you tell me what will be the slope of this graph? Others, please let me know the answer. Take some points. You take this point and take this points. Okay. This point is 0, 3. This point is 4, 0. When you're going from A to B, the vertical change is, look at the vertical change. When you're going from A to B, you're decreasing, your value is decreasing, right? From A to B, delta Y, the rise is 0, minus 3, which is minus 3. Delta X is change in Y, change in X, or the horizontal change. When you're going from A to B, your change in X is positive because, value is increasing, right? It's going to be 4 minus 0, which is 4. Slope will be minus 3 over 4. Minus 3 over 4. Okay. Now, the graph is not given, but instead 2 points on the graph are given. 2, 2, 2, 3 and 3, 2. What is the slope? Can you tell me what will be the slope? What will be the slope? Slope of the line passing through 2, 3 and 3, 2. What will be the slope? Slope of a line through 2, 3 and 3, 2. Yeah. If there are 2 points given, slope is delta y over delta x, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Change in y over corresponding change in x. Okay. If you're going from this to this, that is if you're taking final minus initial. If you're taking final minus initial, okay, the second point minus first point for y coordinate, in the denominator also you have to take the corresponding difference. So in the denominator, the corresponding difference has to be 3 minus 2. If you make a mistake, you are going to get the wrong answer. Okay. When you're going from A to B, if you're taking the difference between B and A, B minus A, for y coordinate, you have to take the corresponding difference for x coordinate as well. That's all. So the answer will come out as minus 1. Yes, very good. Minus 1 is the answer. Next question. Which of the following graphs has a positive slope? Which of the following has a positive slope? Yeah. Others, can you tell me what is the answer? You see, nobody has asked you to find out the slope. Slope value is not required. You have to check whether slope is positive or negative. See, here the graph is making an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis. Here also it is making an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So here slope is negative. Here slope is negative. And this is a horizontal line. In the horizontal line, the slope is 0. Slope is equal to 0. For a horizontal line, do not forget, the slope is 0. And here it is making an acute angle with the x-axis. Here slope is positive. Is that clear? Yes. Question. A club monthly membership fee is $20 fixed a month plus $5 per visit. This is modeled by the function f is equal to 5e plus 20. Okay, I hope you understand that. They need not give the function, but they have actually given that function. Okay, they could have chosen not to give the function. They could have asked you to figure that out, but here in this case, they have given. The fee is at $20 fixed cost plus 5 times V. Like if you're visiting for one time, there will be a fixed cost of $20 plus $5. If you're visiting 2 times, it will be 20 plus 2 times 5. If you're visiting 3 times, it will be 20 plus 3 times 5. And if you're visiting V number of times, it will be 20 plus V times 5. This will be the fee you have to pay. 20 plus V5. 20 plus 5V. This thing. Where F is the monthly fee and V is the number of visits. The slope of the function graph were to increase, what would that mean about the price that club charges? What is the slope of the graph? In this case, what will be the slope of the graph? What will be the slope of the graph? In this case, what will be the slope of the graph? 5. 5 will be the slope. 5 is the slope. Now, if the slope increases, what does that mean? If slope increases, what does that mean? If slope increases, what does that mean? If slope increases, what does that mean? The number 5 is getting increased, okay? And 5 was nothing but the charge per visit, right? Yeah, the amount you pay increases, but 5, the significance of 5 was what? The significance of 5 was the cost per visit. It's not the fixed cost. It was the variable cost that you used to pay per visit. Okay, so this means that the club has increased its cost per visit. Okay, per visit fee. Why? Because now the cost is 5 and 5 corresponds to the slope of the graph. If they say that the slope of the graph is increasing, it simply means that they are increasing the price. They are increasing. Of course, the total price will go up. The total price will go up, but look at the options. It says the club raised the fixed monthly fee. The fixed monthly fee is $20. It does not change here. The club lowered its cost per visit. No, it's not the case. The club raised its cost per visit. That is the correct statement. The club lowered its fixed monthly fee. No, that is not correct. Of course, the total fee also will go up. The total subscription fee will also go up. But here specifically, they say that slope of the function increases means what? They have just increased the per visit pricing. Is that clear? Yeah, others. I'll just take 2-3 minutes. Okay, then we'll wind up. I'll just take 2-3 minutes and then we'll wind up. Okay. In this question, what is the y-intercept of the function? What is the y-intercept? Y-intercept has to be measured from origin to the point where the function, the graph cuts the y-axis. Of course, it has to be taken with sign. Okay. It has to be taken with sign. So from 0 to 4, it is on the positive y-axis, so it is positive. Y-intercept is positive, it's plus 4. The y-intercept is plus 4. Y-intercept is plus 4. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear? Yeah, I'll just quickly show you a simulation and then we'll wind up. Okay. Now suppose we have a straight line, say y is equal to mx plus 4. Y is equal to mx plus 4. What does that mean? It is a straight line with slope m and y-intercept as 4, right? Now I just want to show you what happens when you keep varying m. What happens when you keep varying m? I just want to show you that. So if I have y is equal to so I'm going to take a number m, and if I plot y is equal to mx plus 4. Please see the graph carefully. Since the y-intercept is a fixed number 4, you can see that from the graph y-intercept is 4. Right? Now, what happens is, I'm going to change the slope of this graph. I'm going to vary m. If I vary m, what happens if I increase m? What happens? See, let's start from 0. Let's start from 0. Currently, the line is horizontal. If I increase the slope to a positive number, what really happens? Sorry, positive number. What really happens? See, slope is getting higher and higher. The line is getting steeper, right? So this corresponds to positive slope. Is that clear? What happens when the slope goes from 0 to a positive number? What happens when the slope goes from 0? 0, it will be horizontal. And when it goes to a positive number, what happens to the slope? Do you note that the point A does not change? Because the y-intercept does not change, the point where it crosses y-axis does not change. Is that clear? The point where it crosses y-axis does not change. Similarly, if I go to a negative slope from a horizontal, if I make it a negative slope, see, the line is making an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis. Do you see that? The line is making an obtuse angle. In the positive slope case, the line was making an acute angle. Now see this. What happens when you increase the slope? You're able to see that? Okay. So always remember this. For a horizontal line, the slope is positive. I mean 0. For a line which makes acute angle with positive direction of x-axis, slope is positive. For a line which makes obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis, slope is negative. Is that clear? Okay. So I'll send some more questions. We'll continue with some more properties of straight lines in the next class. We're going to discuss about straight lines in the next class. Okay. Then we will move on to a system of linear equations. Linear equations in two variables. Linear equations in two variables. So far we have seen linear equations in one variable, linear inequalities in one variable. Now we are in linear functions. Then we have moved on to graphical interpretation of linear functions. Now we are moving on to straight lines and more than one straight lines. Okay, which will be given by a system of linear equations. All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. See you in the next class.